Well, here it is, 12:52 in the morning. Cold as hell outside. Feels like it's about 32, 33. Feels like it out there. It's Monday, the 12th of December, 2022. We're going to have another 12 days and some odd change left before Christmas coming up. This is a Monday. It's either the 12th or the 13th, I can't tell. Anyway, coming across some of the postings regarding grieving situation. Came across a grief counselor. Someone just said, I'm a grief counselor. Just let her write that and then... Sorry, had a... What are these things left right here? Milk. I need it. Acid and indigestion. No, it's not a heart attack. It's just dinner catching up with me. Grief counseling is life coaching. It's basically therapists to help with you regarding your grieving situation. I mean, for the longest period of time, I had the idea and notion that I still don't trust the establishments, especially when it came down for medical and therapy shit. Because I got burned out by some of the answers I heard, and it's hard as hell for me dealing with that. Now, how would I recommend somebody else going through therapy sessions? I would recommend it because you may run into a therapist that you may like, and other times you may run into someone you may want to change. Not every therapist is a good fit. But then again, not every therapist out there is an educated idiot with a white lab coat, as I kept calling them, and the medical establishment, because I kept thinking of them as educated idiots with white lab coat, hell-bent and screwing you over one way or another. That's how I viewed it. But I can't say that was one particular therapist who actually listened, and then I lost her. Lost her because of a damn healthcare system I was in that just changed her automatically, or whatever reason she just... Now I gotta find another therapist. And that's hard as hell. I was sent over to a shrink that was more interested in med management and trying to pump me up with a drug instead of just listening to the damn problems. I said before, educated idiot with a white lab coat thing. Yeah. I kept thinking these guys are pill pushers, lotion pushers, and God knows what else like to push down our throats. Because that's all they're interested in is to get the money from the pharmaceuticals or whatever it is. But that goes beyond that. It's not helping the patient. It's just turning him into a damn lab rat for the lab coats. And I couldn't deal with that. I kept dealing with that all my life. We're here to help you, but we're going to slice and dice, rip the living crap out of you, re-break your bones, make you miserable as hell, but you're going to live. By the way, here's some pills to get you hooked on regarding the pain. There is no amount of pills, or there's no kind of pills that's going to be able to help the situations I've got here. I have to muscle it through myself. I have to figure out what's going on inside of me. Because if I can't figure out what's going on inside of me, I don't know what else is going on. I'm sorry about the lighting here. I'm still fighting a bug war, literally. And it's way too damn early for this in the morning. I mean, a long time in the summertime, I did the midnight, burning the midnight oil, doing these kind of things. I prefer during the daytime myself, so I don't have to deal with the frickin' bugs. Literally. But I also wanted to say that I'm not having anybody push an agenda down my throat of telling me how I need to be and how I should be regarding my own therapy sessions. I do my own logs. I do video logs. I post them on my diary. Post them on YouTube. A lot of audio recordings don't get publicized because they're all personal stuff, just like looking at a personal journal. My brother had those. They're buried alive like the worms they are. And so did Ma. And I am not getting into them. But these things I'm making public regarding the videos of what I talk about. And it helps. Case in point. This past weekend, I came across some files. Audio files concerning stuff I taped on my brother without him realizing it. Listening just to one set me back. It didn't set me off. Just about, but I was listening to him one more time. He was telling me about a certain aspect of his life that he was trying to deal with and personalities of himself. No, not to say that he had a personality disorder, but it was just character traits that he demonstrated. That helped him out a great deal. I'm going to take a look at my dog real fast. Give me a second here. You may see an occasional bug coming into the picture every once in a great while. Keep this in mind that I'm dealing with a bug war. And you have witnessed the inner sanctum. So it's a bit nippy out here in California, especially Southern California area, Antelope Valley. So here we are dealing with it. The grief. It's in front of us, and we're dealing with it. We're dealing with the pain. We're dealing with the loss. We're dealing not with the concept, but with the actuality of loss of a loved one, friends, family, pets, and it's hard to tell. There's a lot of people out there saying it takes as long as it takes and just be gentle on yourself. I agree with that one. But if I'm going to have somebody try to insist I have to be something else or someone else, just do this and just do that. Why? Because you'll be happy. No. You'll be happy. You don't like to see the misery. You don't like to see humanity. But you're so miserable. Yeah, so why is it hurting you? Because I care. No, you're manipulative and you actually want to control. If you actually did want to care, you'd shut up and listen. You'd hear the tale. You would try to understand. And if you had a concept of what losing a person is, unless you've already gone down to the route, and it's a normal process of life. It's something everybody doesn't like to go through. Nobody likes to go through it. Doesn't matter when it starts in your life. You still have to deal with it. Sorry. Here it is. So I deal with life on life's terms. I deal with that. I'm going to put this phone down. So my issue is I've been dealing with it ever since I died. And this is not a continence. This is just the light beyond my head. I came back to life. It wasn't fun. And I was trying to tell people what the hell happened. But it's kind of hard to tell them about death when you don't have something that they can relate with. And the relating with is they need to have something that they can grasp onto and understand. Death is a concept, and unless they've been through it and done it, they have no concept of what it is to be or going through it. But I am not trying to say, I have been through death, and I have fought and survived it. I have done this. I'm like, no. Because I was scared shitless as a 4-year-old, going through the process, wanted to go upstairs and be in heaven, but God kicked me down here. There's reasons. One of which I discovered with my brother as, hell, let me put this back up here in my hand. As we were going through our mother's things, and we went through a pile of letters, and we discovered one old letter my brother wrote as a kid, and he wrote it to God. I actually wrote it to the surgeon, but I think he was writing to God. Please don't let my brother die. I think God wrote the letter. Actually, God read the letter, and God understood the letter more than what I did. Because as a 4-year-old cherub, probably, I was just going to hang around heaven for eternity. No, that wasn't it. I needed to live life. So, send him down here. Despite the fact he's going to have neurosis, screwed up heart at this point over here, and he's got to learn life's lessons left and right. My brother was the warrior. I was a coward. But I think maybe my brother felt I had more courage, because I bounced back through a lot of things instead of just being a cowardly, measly mouse like I felt I was. On some occasions, even despite I may have broken a face, I was ready to get into a fight with a kid, or 2 kid fights, 3 fights with the kids. No matter. I was going to be fighting, period. Despite the fact I had heart surgery, I was just going to go off for a fight anyway. But I wasn't looking out for fights. This is basically self-defense, unless I was going to be beating the shit out of a kid because he broke my toy. You don't do that to a kid. No, that's an ass kicking right there. I'm feeling a hell of a lot of anger. You just, no. I ended a friendship real bad there. But it wasn't really a friendship. So I was getting him Chucky. I just beat the shit out of because it broke my G.I. Joe doll. You don't fuck with that. There was also another time with the same age group, age type. I was still in elementary school and I fought a Mexican kid because he didn't like me. I don't give a shit. He was pushing me like crazy because he was being a pain in the ass. So I fought him on school and teachers didn't like that. We were enemies after that. But there were other kids I had to fight. I had to. But growing up as a teenager, I couldn't fight anymore. Wasn't allowed to. I'd be breaking rules. So I had to hold in my temper, hold in my check, and hold myself away from everybody else. Despite the fact I had a group of friends, still wanted to find out what the hell was going on with this particular kid, but at least I wasn't going out there trying to kill people. I just kept to myself. And seeing things going crazy around me. My mother, I lost an aunt, and she was losing her mother. And my brother, I was out in the Navy, screwed up. And definitely a decorated hero loses his medals because he lost shit because of other shit happened to him in the military. And he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with it. I don't blame him, because after I heard about it decades later in support group meetings, I understood why. Why he self-destructed. He got himself clean and sober. Yeah, I know, with a lot of help. It wasn't exactly all me, it was just me trying to stick by him half the time anyway, just to make sure my brother wasn't going to die on me or not. I was afraid of that. And still at home, I screwed up 2 years of college and then threatened by Ma saying, homeless or work full time. 30 years, busted my ass. A couple of trade schools, trying to deal with life on life's terms. Because that's what I was doing, dealing with life on life's terms. That's all I could do. And all throughout, during that time, I'm losing an aunt, losing an uncle, I had to lose a cousin. Ma was already dealing with her own grief by burying it, and so did David. Big brother had to do it. We all had to survive. We all had to bury our feelings deep down. Because we didn't want the empire to be served by us. No, that was a bad line. No, we didn't want to be torn apart by damn grief, and we didn't know how to deal with the damn thing, even as a family. There was no therapy sessions, nothing. We just buried ourselves with everything else going on. And during the holiday season, we tried to make merry. We did. We tried to do things we can during the holiday seasons to make everything holiday joyous and bright for each other and for anybody else. But deep down inside, we actually had the cancer spreading. How to deal with grief, how to process it, and how to work with it. How to make sure it wasn't going to kick our ass on some occasions. And it was kicking our ass on different occasions. It'd be coming up in different anger points of view. It'd be coming up in different crying sessions. We didn't even realize what was going on. Except maybe you feel sad, and I felt sad about losing dogs and also losing people I loved. But we really didn't seriously talk about it in therapy sessions. And I think it ate my mother up all her life. May have ate my brother up in the last few years of his life. So I was determined, if I'm going to be grieving, I'm going to be grieving. I'm not going to let the damn thing eat my life up. And when do I get up? Some days I'm working, and no, I'll take that back. I haven't been working since 2012 because I got injured in a job. Took everything else I thought away from me. So I'm disabled, mentally and physically. But I know that grieving has also played a detrimental part in my breakdown of psyche. So I'm not doing as well as I should be doing. I'm not functioning as well as everybody else should be thinking I should be functioning. So I'm just dealing with on life's terms right now as it is. What else can I do? And I couldn't figure that out. I went out for the life of me right now. So if I'm going to be dealing with a life coach at this point over here, I'd say I've been dealing with death on both sides of the aisle. Still scares the hell out of me. It's a hell of a process to go through. And I'm not ready for it just yet. Maybe at the age of 4 years old. And I didn't want to go through the damn pain until I'd go through the pain and everything else. And survived. I was afraid of living and I was afraid of dying. Basically, I was afraid. How do you live life being afraid? I mean, I thought my brother was braver than I was. But I got a feeling he'd be looking at me more and more because I stuck by him with a lot of shit that maybe other people should have walked out. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have. No, I did it, I think, for my own damn survival. Maybe I think I'm still a weak-ass kid. But now I gotta prove to myself that I was like myself a long time ago. Survivor. So I have to function. I gotta kick ass on certain things, and I will cry, I will weep, and I will be triggered left and right. I will have days of being depressed left and right. I'll be angered. I'll be frustrated. I'll be whatever it is. Even sleep deprived if necessary. But, this is what I am right now as it is. They don't like it. I really don't give a flying fuck. They're not me. They're not dealing with the shit I'm dealing with inside and out. They can only make their judgment calls. That's about it. They don't know me. And quite frankly, I don't know them either. And half the time, I don't want to. I don't want to get caught up in someone else's thing going on left and right. And yet, to understand their pain, I have to go through it. I have to hear and listen and feel it. I have to have the empathy necessary. I can't keep closing myself off, but I can't keep putting myself in that situation at all. It's just not worth it. When I'm functioning, I'm functioning. When I'm not functioning, I'm not functioning. And right now, I gotta function and one thing: sleep. Without being sleep deprived. So that's saying that one. I got a bug war to fight. And I gotta have my wits about me. So this be the griever named John Weaver, and that be me. I'm gonna be putting it on soon, the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which also be me. It's too damn early in the morning for this crap in the morning, and I'm not ready for this shit. Who else is? Okay. It's time to hit it.